Caveat number 10 in Flexing Not Bendy, we're going to continue on to this sequencing of the mobility flow for the hips. Done on the floor, same setup as before. If you didn't see the post that's prior to this one, that kind of sets off the sequence. So I suggest that you go back and read it. And I know I've gotten the issue with the lights, and it just kind of differs however it shows. I just say it's my angelic glow, so we'll just go with it. All right, so same as yesterday, we don't need anything except you might want the blocks, and same warning as yesterday, you're going to feel discomfort, and we're going to learn to work through that discomfort, and you will find it very exciting when that discomfort shifts or you're able to progress onto a higher progression of the move, and then work through that discomfort. That's the way it goes. So we're doing what's called what I'm calling the half shin box, okay? There's a lot of variations in what people call this, but the shin box you could think of as sort of a regression to the 90-90 position, okay? So that would be a whole nother progression. But we remember yesterday we started with the windshield wipers, the post prior. We did the windshield wipers so that we have a very easygoing, dynamic blood flow, right? To get the, you can start with the hands behind you, over the yoga blocks is fine. So we were trying to get that both knees to drop from side to side without a lot of shifting with the upper torso. So we're not doing the rotations yet, okay? We're going to stay in the next couple posts with this idea of being chest straight forward and proud, upright as much as possible, and segmenting your hips from your torso. Hips down and hips up. Okay, so we want to try to move those independently. So the first level here is to have your hands behind you so that you have the same setup as before, and that's intentional so that we could flow into the movements and put them all together into the routine. So our feet are fairly wide. Now we're going to drop now one knee at a time to the inside, and your goal is to be able to drop it all the way to the floor, okay? And if you feel a pulling sensation, you're doing it correctly. But again, keeping the chest forward, our shoulders back and down, pressing into the floor, and your hand position could be forward or behind you as far as the fingers. So here you're trying to just drop one knee at a time into that internal rotation of the hip, and trying not to bring our whole body or the other leg with it, okay? So again, we're trying to keep very, very upright and facing forward. Now, if this is actually easy for you, the next progression would be to do it with the hands, not behind you, but forward, whether you want to have it in front of your chest or out reaching, and do the same thing, okay? Now the next progression, don't worry about it if you don't have a progression, but if you're saying, oh, that's easy, the next progression would be to do it in an elevated position, meaning a deep squat position, and then try to drop from here, okay? So if you want to just stay in the back here, so far what we have would be beginning with the windshield wiper, okay? And again, trying not to shift so much in the hips, just reset if you find that you're moving across the floor, okay? And then dropping into the one knee only. So obviously your knees or your feet have to be wide enough so that your knees have the room to drop, okay? And ideally, as we work into other variations of the shin box, you want that knee to drop right at the mid sole of your foot on the inside. So you could play around with that position to see how far should my feet be, so that if I were to drop all the way to the floor, it would land right on the middle, okay? But this is just a half shin box, okay? And if you feel that your hips are coming off, again, as before, like completely coming off and you're wanting to rotate your entire body with this, again, give precedence to keeping the shoulders like back, your chest lifted, and then press into that knee just as much as you could go without losing that posture, okay? So that's the halfway shin box. And we'll keep building onto this.